Have you ever wondered what secrets are hiding in plain sight? Today, we are stepping deep inside one of the most mysterious places on Earth, the King's Chamber, right in the heart of the Great Pyramid of Giza. We're going to explore a really fascinating theory, that this ancient room isn't just a tomb, but a complex message, literally coded in stone. So let's just start with this one big idea. What if the people who built this weren't just incredible engineers? What if they were sending a message through time? What if the dimensions, the number of blocks, even the layout, what if it was all part of a deliberate code, just waiting to be cracked? Okay, so to really get this, you have to picture the room itself. The King's Chamber is just an engineering marvel. It's built entirely from these huge blocks of rose granite, and each one weighs several tons. I mean, think about the kind of precision that takes to build this deep inside a pyramid. It's that insane level of precision that makes you wonder, is there something more going on here? And that precision, well, that brings us to the first part of the puzzle, the numbers. The whole theory we're digging into today suggests that the key to unlocking this message is hidden in the chamber's very specific architectural details. It all kicks off with something pretty simple. You see, the chamber walls aren't just one solid piece. They're built in 5 distinct horizontal layers of those massive granite blocks. They call them courses, so just lock that number in your head, 5. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If you actually go and count every single visible block that makes up those 5 layers, you get a very specific number, 99. Not 100, not 95, exactly 99. Kind of a weird number to end up on, right? Well, this is where the mystery really starts to unfold. But what if you count the space for the doorway as if it were a block? Then the total comes out to a perfect round 100. And that makes you ask a pretty big question. Is that just a fluke, a coincidence? Or was this room designed from the ground up to represent the number 100 in this really clever hidden way? And the measurements? They get even more specific. Each one of those 5 layers of stone is precisely 47 inches tall. So you do the math, 5 times 47 gives you a total wall height of 235 inches. There it is again, a very specific repeating number. Why 47 inches? It really feels deliberate, doesn't it? Okay, now let's shift our focus down to the floor, because this is where this whole theory takes a truly fascinating turn. Turns out, the floor of the King's Chamber is not what it seems. There's a hidden layer. You see, on top of what would have been the original structural floor, the builders added another layer of stone slabs, and these slabs are all 5 inches thick. Now, this might sound like a small detail, but it fundamentally changes the dimensions of the entire room. So here's what that second layer does. If you measure from the original floor, the wall height is that 235 inches we talked about. But with this added 5-inch layer, the height from the floor you'd actually stand on to the ceiling is 230 inches. It's almost like the chamber was built to have 2 different intentional heights. The question is, why? And this is where the theory makes its most mind-blowing claim. That second floor, the one you would walk on, it might hold the biggest secret of all. It might not just be a floor, but a map of our solar system. If you look closely at that top layer of flooring, you realize it's not a random pattern. It is laid out in 6 distinct rows of stone slabs. Not 5, not 7, exactly 6. And that number, 6, is the key to this entire idea. So why 6 rows? Well, according to researchers Bernard Peach and Suzanne Thompson, it's not random at all. They propose something absolutely stunning, that these 6 rows are a direct representation of the first 6 planets from the sun, encoding their characteristics, maybe even their distances, right into the stone. So here's how it would work. The first row, right by the doorway, that's Mercury. The next one over, Venus. Then Earth, then Mars, Jupiter, and finally Saturn. Each row is a planet, laid out in stone, in the correct order from the sun. It's an ancient model of the solar system, hidden in plain sight. But wait, it doesn't stop there. The theory goes on to suggest that other features in the chamber have these bizarrely specific measurements that seem to back up this idea of a coded system. I mean, just take a look at this. The air shafts? They're located at incredibly specific distances from the corner of the room. And the doorway itself, because of those 2 different floors, has 2 possible heights, 42 inches or 47 inches. There's that number again. Everywhere you look, you find these precise and often dual measurements. So, what are we supposed to make of all this? Are we looking at a series of just remarkable, unbelievable coincidences? Or is this actual evidence of an intentional design, a message left for us to find thousands of years later? Let's just pull all these threads together for a second. You've got 99 blocks that magically become 100 if you count the door. You have 2 floor levels that create 2 different wall heights. You have 6 rows of flooring that just happen to match the first 6 planets. And on top of all that, you have these super specific dimensions for everything else. I mean, at some point you have to ask, how many coincidences are too many?
And that, of course, leaves us with the ultimate question. If this theory is even close to being right, it means the ancient Egyptians had a shockingly sophisticated understanding of our solar system thousands of years before we ever gave them credit for. So, is the king's chamber just a burial room built with some strange precision? Or is it something so much more profound, a message that could rewrite a chapter of human history, carefully written in the language of math and stone?